Put the hip shit on the shelf, cause the way the real rap is being real myself. My eyes been seen the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. It's time to switch it up, put the hip shit on the shelf, cause the way the real rap is being real myself. My eyes been seen the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. Money, money, money. All you guys just like wrong with being wealthy. Like Kanye West says, having money is not everything, but not having it is. No, Deuteronomy 8:18 says God gives us the ability to create wealth. No, it's the love of money that's Deuteronomy. You don't like money so much, why do you get up and go to work? Yeah, it's like to do get up off one of the things that we think I'm just trying to leave a legacy for money. That's not everything, but when you got it, you can do some cool stuff. And now, your host for Talking Money in the Morning, financial health mentor to the working class, Mr. H Cortez.
Good morning, Black world, and welcome to Talking Money in the Morning Live with your main man, H Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the Black community, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur, where I do my absolute best to bring practical, proven wealth building strategies to working men and women all over this great nation of ours. Truly an honor, privilege, and a blessing to be coming to you live and direct from the Young Biz Kids studios here in St. Louis, Missouri. Young Biz Kids is an organization based in St. Louis and now with a second location in Atlanta, GA, yay, expansion, right, that teaches entrepreneurship to our babies. If you are interested in getting your children involved in entrepreneurship at an early age, they start as young as 7. Go to youngbizkids.org. If you are interested at all in learning how to set up and run your own nonprofit organization, then my girl Ariel Bibbins Biggs is actually doing a webinar. She runs a successful nonprofit organization, which is Young Biz Kids. Not only is it successful in receiving awards and grant money all the time, but it's also a self-sustaining, meaning the organization itself makes its own money, so they don't have to depend solely on grants. And she's going to talk about how to do that on a free webinar tomorrow. I think there's a couple different sessions. So get with Ariel Bibbins Biggs or type nonprofit in the chat, and I will have her make sure she gets in contact with you, give you the link to get registered for that webinar. It's going to be phenomenal. And she is really good at teaching what she knows how to do best. So if you're interested in a nonprofit organization, you want to learn how to set one up, or if you already have one, you're trying to figure out how to make it self-sustaining, then yeah, you want to be on that webinar. Also, just a quick announcement, or not a quick announcement, just to also remind you about the promotion for the Black Wealth Movement. I have 2 more spots available that will allow you to join the Black Wealth Movement at no cost, meaning I'm waiving the entire initial fee. So if you want to join the Black Wealth Movement, 0 cost, you get to test us out for 30 days. If we can improve your finances in the first 30 days, then you haven't lost anything and you can cancel. But if we have put you on the path to writing your financial ship, so to speak, then it would just be $35 per month. So check that out. Inbox me or text me at 314-874-6887. 314-874-6887. And we can get you some information on what the Black Wealth Movement is and what it is not, and let you make your own informed decision. So today we are in part 2 of our 3-part series, Faith, Family, and Finances. Yesterday was about faith. If you don't have faith, it's going to be tough for you to do the things that you need to do in order to develop and build a strong family. Okay, so I got you the comment on a nonprofit on YouTube. So I will get you the information that you need for that webinar tonight, or the webinars tomorrow. But when we're done, I will get you the link to that webinar. So I appreciate that. So yesterday's installment was about faith, man. And I promise you, you can't build a strong family without faith. You can't build a strong family without faith, right? Faith and belief in yourself, faith and belief in the Creator and His divine plan for you, and then faith and belief in your children, your loved ones, your spouse, your significant other. It takes a tremendous amount of faith. Today, we're talking about family, though, and bringing the Black family back to the dinner table. bringing the Black family back to the dinner table. Why is it important to bring the Black family back to the dinner table? First and foremost, you have to understand that family is a cornerstone of nation. And without the Black family, we'll never have a Black nation. And understand during the breakage, the breaking of the will and the pride of a people when we were brought here as slaves, or when we were converted, for those of us who were here, because trust and believe, everybody didn't come over here on slave ships, man. There were a couple million people here, and they took the people who were here and broke them and turned them into slaves. So yeah, we'll talk about that's another history lesson. But when they broke them as people and broke their pride, one of the first things that they also did was they broke and separated the family ties and the family bonds. So they would take husband and wife and separate them. They would take children from parents and separate them, because that family bond is so strong. So it's hard to have an uprising when you don't have a family unit. So we want to get back to rebuilding the family unit, especially for us as Black people here in America and Black people around the world altogether. Where you have a strong family, then you have a strong seed of a nation. And that's why the Black family is constantly under attack, because the powers that be know that where there is no Black family, there will never be a Black nation. So we have to do all we can to build up and become that Black family. Let's bring the Black family back to the dinner table. There's a couple stats for those of you who are not familiar with the power in sitting down and having a meal with your family on a regular basis. Children do better in school when they sit down and have meals with their families on a regular and consistent basis, right? Who'd have thought it, right? Literally, studies show that children who have meals on a regular basis with their family have better grades in school, right? Family culture can be developed when you have a regular ritual, such as a meal every day on a regular basis. Whether it's every day, whether it's 2 times a week, 3 times a week. Studies say you want to get to about 4 times a week. And when we say back to the dinner table, we know that our lives are kind of all over the place. And it doesn't always have to be at the dinner table in your house, right? It could be, forgive me for saying, but around the little hut table in a McDonald's, but sitting down and taking that time together. It could be going to pick up some drive-through and pulling over to on the parking lot and sitting down and having that meal together in your car. No cell phones, nothing, just eating together, allowing each other to be and enjoy each other's presence. That is critically important. So we all know that family, in order to have and build a strong family, you have to have strong relationships. I'm going to give you 7 points to building strong relationships. And this is 7 points that could be used with husband and wife. This is 7 points that could be used with mother and child, father and child. Also 7 points that could be used with brother and sister. And then I'm going to give you some things that you want to think about when you're building your family. I'm going to give you four things to invest in to help you build a strong family. But before I get there, I want to ask you guys, anybody have a family motto and willing to share it? Type it in the chat. Do you have a family motto? Anybody have a family motto? That means a creed that the family lives by. All of the family members know it by heart. Do you have a family motto? If you do, put it in the chat. I have a family motto that I just came up with when I started to put this show together. And it is investing in tomorrow by the way we live today. Investing in tomorrow by the way we live today. Right? So my wife is asleep. She don't know, but that's the new family motto. Right? Because what I want to do is I like efficiency. So if I have certain habits that we are living by today that's also going to bear fruit tomorrow, that's what I want us to live by. I want us to all of our actions today. All right, I want to invest in tomorrow by the way that we live today, not the way that we act today, not the way that we behave today, but the way that we live today, because we still have to live and enjoy life. But the way in which we live and enjoy life incorporate certain habits that will bear fruit tomorrow. So do you have a family model or family creed? Team Bailey, Bailey's Shine Bright. That is a family model. Appreciate that, Corbell. Anybody else have a family model? All right. If you do not have a family model, is anybody going to sit down with their family and create or come up with a family model after today's show? You should have a family model, something that quickly identifies what the family is trying to do and get accomplished. So you should have a family model, right? We are investing in tomorrow by the way we live today as a Thornton family, right? Anybody have a family mission statement? Anybody have a family mission statement? Our future is so bright, our past is going to have to apologize. That's awesome. That's awesome. Anybody have a family mission statement? Be bold, be brilliant, be beautiful, be beautifully you. I love it. I love it. I love it. So those are family models. Anybody have a family mission statement? What is the mission of your family? I'm going to sit down with my family next week and create our family mission statement. Ours is always there to always care. Man, that speaks volumes. And that's a living testament, because I can tell that you care about people, Yvette, by the way that you treat people, by the way that you jump in and help me in particular all the time, but also the rest of our team. So that's awesome. So a family model, but then a family mission statement, right? What is the mission of the family? Do you have a family mission statement? Right? And then thirdly, I have to think about a family mission statement. Yeah, I'm working on a family mission statement. And then the third one, Bethany, is, do you have a family vision statement? What is your family vision statement? That is where you and the family have agreed that you see yourself going in the future. That should also be memorized. Should be part of the mission statement, should include the vision statement, but you should be able to pull the vision statement out and memorize the vision statement. Where do you see your family going? So much, and it should be so vivid that when you are saying that and reciting that one to another, you guys should get completely hyped up about where you see your family going. Family motto, family mission statement, family vision statement, right? So we all agree, we're gonna hold each other accountable that by next week, we're gonna have the skeleton of a family mission statement and a family vision statement, right? So we're gonna talk about 7 things that can help you improve relationships, because a family is just that. It's all the foundation of any family is relationships. It's relationships. So number 1, you want to improve relationships and continue to build on solid relationships. Number 1, be quick to forgive. Be quick to forgive. We all fall short of the glory. So remember that when somebody else falls short of your expectations. Be quick to forgive. I hope everything didn't freeze, because Facebook has been tripping with me. Yesterday's show, the audio somehow just went completely blank. It's crazy. Anybody else frozen on Facebook? Sandra says she's frozen. Yeah, yesterday, man, I mean, the audio went good when we were live, but when I watched the replay, after about 2 minutes, it has no sound. So I don't know what Facebook is doing, but you guys can always go over to Financial Health Mentor on YouTube, and you can always check out the Periscope stream at Cortez Springer on Periscope. All right, so number one, be quick to forgive. Quick to forgive. And let's just park right here for a second, guys. It's not easy. I know it's not easy. It's not easy. Forgiveness is not easy, man. Forgiveness is not easy. Who's got the name of that Erica? I mean that India Irie song. I always forget the name of the song, but she says, "One shot to the heart without breaking the skin. No one has the power to hurt you like your kin. One shot to the heart without breaking the skin. No one has the power to hurt you like your kin." I think it's Get It Together. India Irie's second album. One shot to the heart without breaking the skin. No one has the power to hurt you like your kin. Right? So forgiveness is not always easy, especially when you're dealing with family, because they know exactly which button to push and exactly when to push them to get their desired response. So when people intentionally hurt you, it really makes it hard to forgive. But number one, if you want to keep good, let's get it together. You want to keep good relationships, be quick to forgive. Be quick to forgive. Number two, stop gossiping. Stop. Right? Also, hard to put into practice. Here's what gossiping does. And I want you to think about the quote that says, great people think about ideas, right? Average people think about things and think about and talk about other people. Great people talk about ideas, think on ideas. Average people talk about ideas, talk about things. Small people talk about other people. Small people talk about other people. And we do it sometimes without even consciously thinking about it, because it's just we're social people. And sometimes somebody does something you don't like and you immediately want to go tell somebody how much you didn't like what they did, right? But stop gossiping, man, because gossiping destroys relationships. Because just think about it. When you are gossiping to somebody else, about somebody else, what is that person always thinking? Man, I wonder what they say about me when I'm not around. You're gossiping to somebody else, about somebody else. You cannot help but think, if Yvette was gossiping to me about somebody else, the first thing that comes to my mind is, my goodness, what is she saying to other people about me? And that immediately fractures me and Yvette's relationship. I may not say anything to her at the time, but we can't have the strongest foundational relationship possible if that kind of conversation is existing all the time. Because in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, what could she be saying about me when I'm not in her presence? So stop gossiping, and that strengthens the relationship that you have with the people you will be gossiping to, and also the people that you will be gossiping about. Number three, give intentional encouragement. Again, we're talking about these are things that you do in the context of your family, right? Give intentional encouragement. The other day, I don't know if you guys know, my youngest two sons are basketball players in high school. And I was sharing with my wife, I said, man, my baby boy, who is very, very naturally gifted when it comes to the game of basketball. His brother, who is a senior above him, is a great basketball player, but he had to work his tail off to become great. It wasn't natural for him. So I was telling my I was telling my wife, I said, man, Armand, which is the baby boy, I said, he's really starting to become the basketball player that I always knew he could be. And you know what? First thing my wife said is, did you tell him? She said, did you tell him that? And I was like, no. See, that was an opportunity for me to give intentional encouragement. And sometimes as parents, or especially fathers, when it comes to our kids in sports and things that they're trying to accomplish, we try not to give them praise because we like to use what we call tough love. So while we're giving tough love, we will tell them everything that they're doing wrong and never tell them what they're doing right. Flip that, fellas. Ladies, flip that. Give intentional encouragement. Because we talk about spoiling children, right? What is my definition of spoiling a child is when you withhold the rod or you withhold discipline, you spoil the child. It's not giving your child everything he wants. That's not spoiling a child, because as long as you give them discipline along with everything they won't be spoiled. But spoiling a child is not disciplining them when they deserve to be disciplined. When they need correction, you withhold correction. That's how you spoil a child. Well, guess what? If you are always going to correct your child when they're doing something wrong, you have to, with equal measure, praise them for everything that they do right. Otherwise, there's no balance, and you will destroy and splinter a relationship. If they never know that you're proud of them, but they know for certain the things that they can do to disappoint you, but they don't know the things that they can do to make you proud, you, my friend, have a problem. With equal measure that you dole out ridicule, criticism, and correction, you have to also dole out praise, adoration, and encouragement. With equal measure. With equal measure. Right? You can't 90% of the thing that your child does wrong, you immediately get on them and correct them. Same thing with a spouse. 90% of the things that your spouse doesn't like, you immediately bring it to their attention. Right? But 90% of the things that your child does right, 90% of the things that your spouse does right, you never say, you know what, I really appreciate that. I'm so glad you did that. Thank you so much for that. You have to have, yeah, it's a delicate balance with the parenting and the relationship with your spouse. I tell my wife all the time, I said, man, you take such good care of me, and I really appreciate it. But guess what? I don't care for her the same way that she cares for me, so I've got to get better. And we talked about the love languages because my love language is touch and affirmation. So I tell her all the time that I love her, and I tell her all that, and I want to hug on her, I want to kiss her, I want to hold her hand. That's not how she feels love. I need to do things for her because that's her primary love language. So number 3 is give intentional encouragement. Number 4, develop daily strategies for showing love. Daily strategies for showing love. Right? Sometimes my wife will take a dry erase marker and leave me a message on the mirror. That's a daily habit of showing love. If we're going to build a strong family, we have to develop daily habits of showing love. And if you haven't read the book, The 5 Love Languages, showing love in the way that you speak love is not always received by those that you love. So I have 5 sons and a wife. So that's 6 people that I want to establish a daily habit of showing love for, right? A daily strategy of showing love. But each one of those 6, I have to identify their own love language. So I can't have the same strategy for showing love to them all unless they all speak the same love language. My love language is words of affirmation, adoration, encouragement. I love to speak life to things. Unless all 6 of those people's love language is words of affirmation, me telling all of them how much I love them, how much I appreciate them, that's not a sound daily strategy for showing love. Not to all of them, because that's not all of their love language. I need a strategy to show love to each one of them every day in the language of love that they speak and receive. We're talking about building a strong family here. Family is a cornerstone of nation. Without the Black family, we don't have a Black nation. Without the Black family, we don't have a Black community. Right? So develop a daily strategy for showing love to your family. I've got a son who likes to receive gifts. I've got a son who is acts of service. I've got a son who is words of affirmation, right? So I have to know when I develop this daily strategy that I told all of my sons before they left out the house this morning, I love you. Have a good day. One of them, that don't mean nothing. Yeah, I love you too, Pop, because it's routine to say, but it means nothing to one of them. That's not his love language. He cared nothing about words. I have to do things for him. So if I wanted to show him love, which I did, because I got up this morning and took them to the gym at 5 o'clock. So doing something for him shows him that, okay, I love you. So I did a strategy. Part of my strategy was doing something for him. He loves basketball. He's trying to be the best he can be his senior year. So I had to do something for him. What he wants me to do is get him to the gym every day at 5 in the morning so he can shoot 1,000 shots before school. Right? So I showed him love. The other one, my baby boy, I haven't identified what his love language is yet. Working on it, and he'll be 16 next week, and still working on it, trying to figure that out. But at least I told him I love him, and I took him to the car. I might need to buy him something, right? So develop a daily strategy for showing love to your loved ones. Number 5, this is a good one. Yeah, they all need to take the quiz. Sometimes they don't know either. Yeah, and I should know as their parent, but sometimes I don't know. So yeah, I'll get them over to take that quiz so we can identify that for each of them, but that's a good idea. Number 5, diffuse instead of fuel fights. Diffuse instead of fuel. Diffuse and not fuel fights. It's very easy to fuel a fight. It's very easy to fuel a fight. It's one of my favorite scriptures in the Bible is to be slow to anger. It's very easy. What do I mean by diffuse? Somebody says something that you don't like, and you can snap back, clap back, whatever you want to call it, and that's adding fuel to that fight. And instantly, it's like a tinderbox. One spark and whoo, you got a full-blown flame because you infused it instead of diffused it. How can you defuse a fight or a potential fight amongst loved ones, amongst your spouse, mate, what have you? You might just temper your response altogether and just not respond at all. Or another scripture says that a soft word turns away wrath. So if somebody's screaming and yelling at you, the last thing you want to do is start screaming and yelling match and start screaming and yelling back at them. Right? So Bethany is typing number one was be quick to forgive. Number two is stop gossiping. Number one, quick to forgive. Number two, stop gossiping. Number three, give intentional encouragement. One, quick to forgive. Two, stop gossiping. Three, give intentional encouragement. Four, daily strategies for showing love. Five, diffuse and not fuel fights. Yeah, close your mouth, come back later to address. And it's funny that's coming from a woman because sometimes closing your mouth, fellas, will get you in trouble too. So you got to know your mate, know how to diffuse. Sometimes not saying anything causes a little bit more trouble. That's a way to fuel the fire. But you know your mate. You know whether or not you need a response or not. So diffuse and not fuel a fire. Number five. Number six, be quick to apologize. Be quick to apologize. Look, the married fellas out there know with the smiley faces that, hey, sometimes I don't say nothing at all. That becomes a problem. I'm trying to diffuse this situation, but when I don't say anything, that fuels fight. Right? So just be cautious, and you know your mate. But even if staying silent adds fuel, then practice a soft word to turn away wrath. A soft word will turn away wrath. Diffuse a fight, and do the same thing with your children. Diffuse their situations. Don't edge them on, man. Don't just diffuse. Don't jump on one side versus the other and fuel the fight. Right? Conflict management is critically important in relationships. Be quick to apologize, man. Be quick to apologize. You know, what I mean by that is you do some self-reflection. And I want you to understand something about apologizing. Sometimes you do something to a person that you don't feel is wrong. That other person is telling you, what you did to me made me feel some kind of way. And you say, I refuse to apologize because it wasn't right. I didn't do anything wrong. If you love that person and your intention is to never cause that person hurt or harm, and they're telling you what you did, even though it was not wrong, caused them pain or harm in some kind of way, be quick to apologize. Be quick to apologize. Sometimes it's kind of like, I as a kid, I would pick on my little sister and I would push her around a little bit, and she go, ow. I said, stop playing, that didn't hurt. Who am I to tell her what her pain threshold is? And because that would not have hurt me, or my pain threshold is a little different, I assume that I didn't hurt her that bad, therefore there is no need for me to apologize. Wrong answer. Somebody is telling you, hey, that really hurt my feelings. And you're saying, but it's the truth. Don't matter, it's the truth. You're not apologizing that you spoke the truth. You're apologizing that the way you spoke that truth caused somebody that you love hurt and harm. And that was not your intention. You guys get that? It's not that what you did or what you said was wrong, but what you did or what you said caused someone you love hurt or harm or pain. And your intention is to never hurt or harm those you love. So you might have to sometimes say, even though I said nothing but the truth, this truth caused you pain. I apologize at how I said it. At the time I said it, it caused you pain. That was never my intention. I am sorry. Changes the game. And usually those that you apologize to will reciprocate. Usually, not all the time. And don't say you're sorry expecting or trying to goat the other person into saying they're sorry. Be genuine, right? Number 7. This is a good one for the fellas, man. And this is one I struggle with. Take the initiative to help without being asked, right? And then you start teaching your children this. I'm teaching my children this now because my wife works her tail off. She works her tail off around the house, and I'm trying to get myself and my children into the habit of just jumping in, helping, even though she sometimes don't let us help because we don't clean the way she cleans, we don't straighten up the way she straightens up, we don't organize the way she organizes. But still, sometimes just the offer, hey, how can I help you do this faster? How can I help you make this better? How can I help you? Just jump in and start helping. Don't even ask, how can you help? Just jump in and start helping, right? Unless that is going to fuel the fight. But no, you want to take the initiative to offer your help and support and just start helping, doing more, because everybody, even though sometimes they won't admit it, can use some help. And if you ask or if you make yourself available to help, chances are they can find something for you to do to start helping. So 7 ways to kind of build and foster and nurture relationships so that you can grow a strong family, right? Number 1, quick to forgive. Number 2, stop gossiping. Number 3, give intentional encouragement. Number 4, daily strategies for showing love. Develop daily strategies for showing love. Number 5, defuse fights, right? Defuse and not fuel fights. Number 6, be quick to apologize. Number 7, take the initiative to help without being asked, right? Now, 4 things that you want to invest in to build a strong family. 4 things you want to invest in to build a strong family. Number 1, invest in your family's culture. What is your family's culture? Right? What are some of the things? See, I'm developing a culture with entrepreneurship as the center of my family. Now, that may not be your family culture. Your family culture might be education. You might have one of those families where everybody has a master's degree or PhD because your family's culture is education. Invest in your family culture. If you haven't identified or developed the family culture, then I want you to go and do some research on different types of family culture, intimate culture. Invest in your family's culture and then invest in teaching, training, and educating the family on that culture and why that culture is important. See, my sons know why entrepreneurship is so important. Invest in family culture, right? Tell us what that is, Conquest Field, and not just post a link. Tell us what that is. Invest in your family culture. Develop and nurture that family culture. When I say invest, that means invest money. That means invest time. That means invest other resources. Invest in your family's culture. What is your family's culture going to be? Right? and then invest in and educate the family about what that's going to be. My culture is entrepreneurship. I believe that we can save the world through entrepreneurship. So my children know why entrepreneurship is important, why that is our culture, why that is being woven into their very DNA as we speak, right? Invest in your family culture. Number two, invest in developing leadership in your family. One of the things that causes the splinter in the Black family is we don't develop leaders. We don't develop leaders. And you know why that's a problem? Because the moment my son breaks away from the tribe and go builds his own family, he instantly becomes a leader, whether he wants to or not. Either he's going to lead them to greatness, or he's going to lead them to mediocrity, or he may even lead them into poverty. Whether my son wants to or not, the moment he breaks away from the tribe and goes and builds his own family, he instantly becomes a leader. So invest in developing leaders. You know why? A second reason it's important to invest in developing leaders. If something should happen to me today, one of my sons is going to be thrust into the role of leadership for this family. And if you put no investment into developing their leadership skills, intentionally, yes, they watch me, they're mimicking, they're modeling what I do, but I have to intentionally sit my son down and say, hey, here's a book called The 5 Pillars of Leadership. I need you to read this. Hey, you're a point guard anyway on your school basketball team. You need to be a leader. This is going to help you in that area. Whatever you have to do to get them to understand leadership, you have to invest in developing leaders. All right, you don't want to read, then I did a 5-part series. Go watch your Paul show. I did a 5-part series on the 5 pillars of leadership, and we talk about, and I talked about leadership development. If something happened to me today, somebody has to be ready to lead. Right? When they break out on their own, they have to instantly be ready to lead. Otherwise, if you don't develop leaders, by default, you're developing followers. If you don't develop leaders, by default, you're developing followers. You to keep that in mind. I'm gonna run that back. If you don't develop leaders, by default, you're developing followers. So invest in leadership development, right? Develop your children into young warriors and young leaders. Number 3, invest in your family's future. We talked about earlier having a family motto, having a family mission statement, having a family vision statement. Having a family motto, having a family mission statement, having a family vision statement. Once you have your family vision statement, you have to then go invest in the family's vision, your family's future. My family's future is entrepreneurship. That's why it's all business with me all the time. It's all business with me all the time. And I want you to think about something. I have my youngest 3 sons is 2 athletes and a musician. 2 athletes and a musician. And then the one above them is in school right now. He'll be coming out in December with a degree in business finance. And then the oldest one is the one who's not talking to me right now because he's going through his own wilderness right now, right? Because he's got to figure out how to get his grown man on, and he doesn't want me to help him, which, okay, as long as you're developing into a man and somebody's helping you, that's fine. So that's the family makeup. So now I want you to understand, when I'm saying developing or investing in my family future, I have 4 businesses. One of my businesses is an athletic training company called Solid Foundation Athletic Academy, right? Solid Foundation Athletic Academy. That's a training academy. Which of my sons do you think will flow right into running that business when they come of age? When I put Solid Foundation Athletic Academy franchises all over the country, You see my choice in that business model? Because I have two athletes. I have two athletes who love and are passionate about sports. So I created a future for them right now that they can walk right into. And they can start running those businesses based on their love for sports. All Amateur Sports Network is a media company under my media company, Drapetomania Media, right? I have a son who's a musician and actor. Where do you think he's likely to be involved? Since the family culture is entrepreneurship, I'm creating businesses around the things that not only am I passionate about, but also that includes my children's passion. So as we start to develop the music soundtracks for our music intros and all of that kind of stuff, I have a musician as a son who's going to be director of scoring our short films and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm creating a lane for him in the family business, right? My other son is graduating with a degree in business finance, not so he can go get a job and run somebody else's business finances, so he can come run the family business finances. So he can go and become his own business and create his own consultancy where he runs his own business, managing business finances, not necessarily working a job for somebody else's company to be a business finance manager, right? So you have to work that into invest in your family's future. What is your family's future? What does your vision statement say? My vision statement says we're going to help heal the world through entrepreneurship. So I'm creating enterprises now that with my children in mind, right? And then last but not least, we understand that family is the cornerstone of nation. It's the seed of every community. Without strong families, you don't have a strong community. Without a network of strong communities, you don't have a strong nation. And we're looking to build and develop that as the Black people. We want to develop the Black family. We put a bunch of Black families in the same neighborhood. Now the Black family becomes a Black community, and we string and network those Black communities together, and now you have a Black nation. But just as the family is the cornerstone of nation, the individual is the cornerstone of family. So number 4, you will have to invest in yourself for your family's sake. You have to constantly be investing in yourself for your family's sake. That's what, see, if you don't do it for nothing else, do it for your family's sake. If you have no interest in reading a book on leadership, you can't muster the motivation to do that for yourself, do it for your family's sake. Right? All the investments that I'm making in myself is for my family's sake. It's for my family's sake. Because the more value that I add to me, the more value I can pour into them. And sometimes when I don't feel like busting my hump in my business, I don't feel like doing a video, I don't feel like trying to recruit, I don't feel like trying to sell, I don't feel like doing a webinar, I think about them. This is a foundation that I'm laying for them. So if I don't want to take money and invest in my future for myself, I think about them. You know, I'm in Memphis this weekend for a retreat where we getting some education on our financial strategies and growing that business. So I'm thinking, man, I don't really have the money to spend. I don't really My son's got some stuff going on, basketball related, that I could keep, could stay here and help him with that. But then I said, man, what goes on in the back of my mind, I might miss that one nugget that can transform our business forever if I don't go. So if you can't do it for you, do it for them. Invest in yourself for your family's sake, because what we need is strong individuals. When we have strong individuals, now we move to the next step, as those strong individuals partner with other strong individuals and create strong unions. Those strong unions are the seed of strong families. Those strong families become the seed of strong communities. Those strong communities become the seed of strong nations. So invest in yourself, if for nothing else, do it for your family's sake. You guys often ask, why do I know a little bit about a lot? Because I got 5 sons. I want to, whatever they decide to get into, I want to have enough of a base knowledge to say, hey, that's a good endeavor. Our culture is entrepreneurship. Let's talk about how you can develop a business and a brand in this area based on a little bit I know, and then you take it and run with it. Right? I'm constantly pouring into myself. I'm constantly studying. I'm constantly growing. I'm constantly building and connecting with networks of people, right? And that's the 5th one. Invest in your network. Invest in your network. I'll give you a prime example. I don't know if Biggs is still on. Give you a prime example. I coach a couple, Ariel and James Biggs, and I also coach their son, Mikey, the kid who knows the biz, right? When I say invest in your network, I'm going to tell you the benefits of them investing in their network. It wasn't free for them to coach with me. They had to invest in my coaching, but with my coaching came my network. So when they invested with my coaching and joined my team, I was able to introduce them to a bunch of other people. And now they have a strong network. And guess what? Because they invested in themselves, now they're investing in their network. Their son has a network that rivals most multimillionaires today. Their son has interviewed some of the best entrepreneurs all over this country and has the ear of those entrepreneurs. Their son, because they invested in themselves, they invest in nurturing their relationships and their network. Their son now can call on probably 200 or 300 entrepreneurs to invest in his business, to invest in his life, because his parents invested in their network. See, some of you guys won't buy or invest in a coaching program, won't buy or invest in a mentor. Just keep in mind, if you won't do it for you, do it for your children. Because they invested in this network, their son is a best-selling author. Their son has expanded his business. Their son has already had 20 speaking engagements. Half of them were paid. Because they invested in themselves. They made connections. They nurtured connections. Are you willing to invest in yourself? Are you willing to invest time and energy and even money into your network to develop a network and also cultivate and nurture those relationships in your network? It goes way, those tentacles have far-reaching effects. Now, because of that network, I was sharing with my son that we were doing the drive for Houston the other day, and all the entrepreneurs that came and dropped off supplies, Mikey did a short little interview with them. I said, you see why networking is powerful? Mikey is 10 years old. Say in another 15, another 5 years, when he's 15, he's ready to go in another direction with his business, and he needs investment capital. Because his parents invested in themselves and in their network, he now has access to his parents' network, and he can call 300 entrepreneurs and say, hey, here's what I'm doing. Here's my business plan. Here's my proposal. Here's your potential return on your investment. Will you invest $5,000 in my startup? See, it goes beyond just you and your linear thinking. Linear thinking. You have to start thinking more about compounding effects of not just money, but also relationships. Everything compounds in and on itself. That's where you should be thinking. So you have opportunities to go and network with people. And maybe it's a Friday night and you just put in 12 hours on your job, in your business, and you're like, man, I know this networking event is going to have some people there in the land that I want to get in. I know I can make some connections there, but man, I'm dog tired, boss. Think about your children. Think about your children. Right. The other piece that you think about developing your network is, now Mikey also has other children of entrepreneurs that he could potentially partner with down the road. And now, because of the network, he don't have to go look for people who got employee mentality. He's already in a network of families that are entrepreneurs, and entrepreneurship is a culture. So the children were going to have that entrepreneurial mindset. So now he has ready-made partners that he can go into business with, they can develop brands with, that he can develop speaking series with. And man, it just goes on and on. But you got to understand the power in investing in yourself for the family's sake. And when you become strong and you invest into your family, you develop a strong union. And then that strong union is the seed of a strong family. That strong family is a seed of a strong community. That strong community, when networked with other strong community, is now the seed of a strong nation. That's my goal. That's why I was put here on this planet. That's why I am right here in this space and time. Right? Think about that. Why this space and time? Why weren't you born 50 years ago, 100 years ago? Why weren't you born 50 years from now, 100 years from now? What is it about this space and time that you were injected into this space and time? But it's all about y'all. So we want to help our people develop strong families. Let's bring our families back to the dinner table. There's all kind of benefits of eating together. You can develop your culture. You can get to know your children at a fundamental level. I was just thinking about this when I was doing my research for this show. I said, man, you know how long it's been since I looked my children in the eyes? You know how long it's been since I looked my children in the eye? Those of you who have small children, you kind of probably do this all the time. But when your children get to be teenagers and they're ripping and running all over the place, and now my fourth son has got his driver's license, and my youngest is trying to get, so now that they're all over the place, sometimes it's been a while since I've looked my children in the eye. So we got to bring them back to the dinner table so we can start developing our rituals and fueling our culture. And really laying out the vision and the mission of this family, the expectations of this family, right? It's harder for them to fall away from those things when those things are constantly preached and taught in a ritualistic fashion. Not just, yes, we go to church on Sundays and we talk about the Lord and biblical principles and all of that, but the whole culture, the whole thing, man, you just gotta pull it all together, right? Got to pull it all together. Yeah, Tiasha, we got to pull them all together. Get everybody back together at least once or twice a week and look them in their face and express to them what it means to be a part of your family, what the expectations are as a part of this family. Speak life into them about the greatness that they're going to produce because they were born into this family. All right. So I appreciate you guys for listening. Two things really quickly. If you're interested in a webinar on how to start your own nonprofit, that's going down tomorrow. If you're interested in a webinar on how to turn your passion for sports into income, that's going down today. So type sports in the chat if you have not already registered for that webinar, and I will drop the link, reply to your message with the link to register for that webinar. I'm going to talk about the four ways or four different industries that you could be in making money from sports, and then we'll talk about a bunch of different ways that you can do that, and then show you how to build a brand around doing all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, age 5 to 15, course, yeah, that's all over the place, right? So Kimberly McLean, so I'll drop the link in so you can join that webinar tonight. And then that's it, man. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm H Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the Black community. Until I talk to you guys next time, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. Remember, tomorrow it's about finance. So faith, family, finance. Tomorrow's show will be about the finance of the family, and we'll put a nice bow on it and wrap it all up together. So until then, get your money up because you can do it. Peace.